So we'll give it another minute for students to get in, and then I will get going. If you are not on that left file share tab, please make sure you're clicked on that. And again, I am recording for learning purposes. That way students can go back to go through this information if they need it again, or if you miss a class, you can watch that recording as well. So I'll see if we get a few more students in here. Make sure to check your chat messages. I am sending some students a message. Not all students will get one, but I just want to remind you if you are finishing anything up of what you need to do within that coursework, okay? And I know I got a few other students coming in, so I'm just going to give it another minute before I start the instruction going on. Perfect. And then all right, so if you are not on that top file share tab, please click on that now. You should see ORN Tech Check up on the screen. So in this session, we're going to go over some different stuff. For students, any computer that you have, check the time stamp and date stamp in the bottom right corner. What we want to do is we want to confirm what time that you have. It could flag us that your time zone is wrong. However, there are times that it looks like it's right and it's actually wrong. So please check that and throw in the room chat for me what time you have. I currently have 10:33 a.m. And that's the other thing to look at is make sure you've got an a.m. on your time. We will go through on student computers and on a personal computer. If you have a Windows system, we will be able to look up a time changer app. So let me know in the room chat right now what time you have. (10:34), perfect. 10:34. Awesome. So yes, please check your time for me. And then, like I said, we are going to go and pull up the time zone. So for everyone, what I want you to do, in the bottom of your laptop, you should have a search icon, whether it's on the left or in the middle. Click on that, and what I want you to type in on the search bar is time, T-I-M-E. If you're on a school laptop, it will be the Time Changer app that you want to open. If you are on a personal computer, you could potentially have this. If not, we will look up the time, date, and stamp. That way we can just correct the time zone and double check what that is. So make sure that you're typing in Time Changer. Once that opens up, it will look similar to my screen. What it will have, it'll show you what the time zone is set to. Hopefully it's already set to Central Standard Time, but if it is not, you want to click the Change It box, because then you can go in and the next screen will give you the drop-down box as this, and you can change that to the Central Standard Time and click Confirm. So if you open up your Time Changer app and it already says Central Standard Time, confirm that it has the correct AM time of 10:35 a.m., roughly right around there. Make sure it also has May 11th, 2026, and you can click confirm it. If it has any other time zone besides Central, remember you need to click and the Change It box. That's going to take you to the drop down to choose your time zone. You want to be in Central Standard Time and click confirm. Then it'll go through confirming the time stamp. Again, make sure it has AM listed for 10:36. Then it'll go through the date, which is going to be May 11th, 2026. Confirm it. When you get to the end, just double check again that all three are correct and hit confirm. So let me know that your time zone is set already to Central Standard, or if you needed to go through the steps to set it, that you have that done. And you can give me a thumbs up or just let me know in chat, done. And I'll just give that a moment so that way you guys have a minute to look at that. And don't stress if you aren't for sure. We do have time built in at the end, so then that way you guys are able to get that taken care of. So if you're not certain, again, don't stress about it. You will be perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. We just try to walk through all the steps and make sure that everything is open and available to you guys. Perfect. Awesome. So the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to use that search icon again and going to pin some apps onto your taskbar. So go back to your search icon on the bottom of your laptop. And what we're going to do is the first thing I want you to type in is SNP, S-N-I-P. And on the school laptops, or if you have a personal Windows, it should pull up the snipping tool. You're not going to open it. Instead, you're going to come over on the right-hand side underneath open. You're going to have some other items to select. If you only see open and like run as an administrator and you have a line with an arrow down button, click the arrow down. It's going to open up more options. What you want to do is click pin to taskbar. So then that way it'll end up showing on your bottom computer bar, the scissors icon, it'll pin it right down there. So again, click on your laptop search bar, type in the word snip. You should pull up snipping tool, and then you want to pin that to your taskbar. That icon will show up down on the bottom. And then once you get that done, I do want you to go back, and I also want you to pin to your taskbar File Explorer and Word. So if you can do those for me, you'll end up having 3 app icons down on your bottom taskbar. It'll be that snipping tool. It will be File Explorer, which will be that manila folder, and then Word, which is the Microsoft Word app. So give me a thumbs up or say done when you're done in the chat. So then that way I know that you have those pinned, and then we will move on to our next thing. And again, if you don't get these done right now, we will have time at the end to help you with that if you need it, okay? And those are things we'll work through. Perfect. So then, like I said, you should have the File Explorer pinned at the bottom. You'll have that snipping tool pinned. You'll also have Microsoft Word. And again, we can worry about doing that at the end if you don't get to. So the next thing that we'll do, click on and open up your File Explorer folder. That'll be that yellow manila folder icon on the bottom. You'll open that up. And then what we're going to do is we are going to create an orientation folder so that you already have this ready and available for doing work throughout the week. So once you open up File Explorer, the directory is going to be on the left-hand side. So this is going to have its own scroll bar. You're either going to choose to save folders on your desktop, or you can choose to save them in your documents. Whichever that you prefer is fine. Do not save and create folders in your downloads, okay? So it's one thing we want to make sure students don't save their completed assignments in downloads. But for this example, I'm going to click on desktop. And then what's going to happen is I'm in my desktop. Once I click on desktop, you're going to notice up on top through that pathway, it's going to show that I have desktop chosen. And then I want to click the new button to create a new folder. Once I do that, it's actually going to open up a blank folder for me within the desktop. So then I'm on desktop. I now have a new folder. I'm going to name that ORN for orientation. I'm just going to abbreviate it. So again, open up File Explorer. Once you're there, choose either desktop or documents. Once you click on that, I want you to click that new button up on top, and then it's going to open up a new folder for you, and you're going to be able to name that and change it to ORN or you can spell orientation out completely. And then you can just click off of it. It'll have that folder. If you double click it, it will open that folder up. And since it's a new folder and you haven't saved anything yet, it will be blank. Just so that way you're aware of that. So again, give me a thumbs up or just let me know done in chat, and we will move on to our next set because we are going to get you signed into Microsoft Word. Okay. That way you've got all of this prepared and available. And like I said, we'll have some time at the end as well to help you guys if you don't get that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find your school email address. The reason for that is that you need to know what it is because you have to sign into the Office apps using your school email address because we pay for like the key code that you need that authorizes it. So to do that, from the landing navigation page, not your launch pad, the landing navigation page, you want to go and click on account. When you're in account, it's going to show your name. You're going to go and click on settings. Once you're in settings, you should see a default email. Otherwise, on the right-hand side, it's going to show your full school email address. Majority of the time, it is your legal first full name with the first initial of your last name and then the last 4 digits of your student ID number. So if it looks different to you, just know that it is your first legal full name and typically your letter of your first initial of your last name. So write this down because you will need it to sign into Microsoft Word. Save it in your cell phone notes folder if you want it electronically. Just make sure you have it somewhere because you will need it in just a few minutes when we sign into Word. And you do need to make sure it has the full email address that has the @wivcs.org at the end. And then in addition to that school email address, we will need your username and password that you use to sign in for school to finish logging into the app as well. If you don't have that written down, we are going to go and find it through Google or Microsoft Edge in your saved passwords. So if you don't know your username and password off the top of your head or have it written down for you to reference, I do want you to click on your web browser. If you are using Google Chrome, you will click the 3 dots up on the top left. The 3 dots will be up and down in the top corner. Then you will open and click on Passwords and Autofill. Once that opens a side box, you're going to click on Google Password Manager. If you're using Microsoft Edge, you'll have 3 dots as well up on the top. You'll click on those and you'll go to passwords. It'll show a key icon as well. And then you'll click on passwords and it'll take you to websites that you have saved. So once you click on the passwords, you're going to notice sites that you have saved for login information. You will look for that K12.com and you're going to click on it. One thing that I want students to be aware of, if you and your learning coach are sharing the computer and you both signed in and saved your information, make sure you're looking at the accounts that show up to distinguish which one is your account. For another example, you will not have an email address listed as your username. Typically, it's a username. It's not going to have the ending for the email address after it. Again, this is something that your learning coach set up for you, username and password. So if you've got it auto saved, write down your username. You're not going to be able to see the password. It's going to be a bunch of dots. So you need to click on the eye icon so that way you can write down that password. And again, put it on a piece of paper for reference or save it in your notes cell phone folder. So that way you've got access. So I'll give you guys a minute to do this, and then we are going to get signed in with Word using these. And again, if you're not able to find the information, we've got time at the end that I can help you with this as well. So just for students to be aware of, we are going to sign into Microsoft Word. We are doing this with school issued laptops. if you have a personal computer that is a Windows-based computer and you have Word in it, you were able to pin it, you will be able to sign into the Microsoft Word as well. However, if you are using a personal computer that is like a Google Chromebook, any type of MacBook, let me know in the room chat. Those are typically not compatible with school, so you're not going to be able to get Microsoft Word on there, and we will have to get you a school computer to issue. So if you are using a personal computer that's not compatible with school, let me know in the room chat. There may also be personal computers that we just need to install the Office apps, and we are able to do that. That's something we can assist with. So don't stress about it if you're not able to do the next steps to getting signed into Microsoft Word, okay? All right, and we do have steps within the classroom, but we'll go back to that later. So now what I want you to do is I want you to double click and open up your Word app. If you don't have it pinned to the bottom of your taskbar, go and search it again. And in the laptop search bar, you're going to type in Word, W-O-R-D. It's not going to be WordPad. It's just going to be Word. And then open it up. What we're going to do, and like I said, it needs to be that Word app. It's that blue Windows Word icon. So you'll open it up. And then I want you guys to double click and open up a blank document. That's the best way I found for students to sign in, is just open a blank document, and then up on top, I want you to click that sign in box. Once you click sign in, you are going to get a pop-up box that's going to want you to sign in just like it looks for the email address. So I want you to type in your school email address, including the ending. So type that in from where we found it. Like I said, if you weren't for sure where your school email address was, or you need help, we can do that at the end. But for the majority of you who have your school email address, put it in and click next. And then once you click next, it's going to pop up another screen, which is going to look like where you log in for school. This is where you've got to enter that username and password, okay? And then what I do recommend is make sure that you click on the I icon for the password to double check you've got an uppercase letter, you've got numbers, you've got a special character, because those are requirements for the password. So just in the event that you didn't type it in correctly, look at it before you click log in. So once you get your username and password in, you click log in. As long as that's all correct, it's going to take a minute to think and sync things up. And then you're just going to click the yes button when you get to that page, because it's going to sign you into other Office apps that we have, such as PowerPoint. There are going to be times you might make a slideshow for a project for class. We cover that app as well, so it's going to log you in for those apps as well and sync up. So you'll click yes, and then you'll get another page that you just click done. And then you can close off of Microsoft Word and just click the X up in the corner. You'll be all signed in, and you don't need to do any more with that at the moment. So let me know with a thumbs up or done in the room chat that you are signed into Microsoft Word. Again, if you don't get signed in, don't stress about it. We can help at the end of class, okay? We just want to help get you prepared for doing assignments this week, and then that way we know you've got the access to apps and that you need. So I'll give you guys another minute. Like I said, we can do that at the end of the class as well. Perfect. Awesome. All right, so we will move on. Since we do record classes, this is a very vital resource for students. No matter if you attend class in person, you will still be able to go back and access the class recording. Say that you took some notes, but you didn't get everything, or you recall something from the class, and you're like, oh, I need to refresh my memory. or you are sick and miss a class. Class recordings is going to be your go-to. You will access class recordings just as you do attending a live class. So say for instance, I was gone on April 27th. I missed my 8:50 class. I'm trying to get caught up with my homework, but first I need to watch my class recording because I need to know what happened. You're going to go and whether you change the calendar date or say that you're in your week view and you're going back to yesterday's recording, you're going to click on the date and time that the class is from. It's going to open back up just like you would coming into a class. You'll click join here, but instead of clicking join class, you're going to click the join playback room. That's going to take you into the class recordings. So basically, you're going to be able to access the recordings just like you do to get into any class. You're not going to need to go any other way. You'll just click the join playback room. Once you get into the playback room, you're going to notice on the right-hand side that you have class recordings that are in date stamp order from the most recent going back. Typically, teachers will name them so you know which date it was from. You just click on that recording that you need and then click the play button. The other cool feature with class recordings, if teachers have a poll that they gave during class, you will be able to interact with it during that class recording as well. So you could still be a part of the live instruction afterwards and still engage with those type of tools. So then this way you can go back and get the information that you need. That's going to be a go-to for students. Like I said, even if you attended the live class, you'll have access to it. So if you need to refer back to something, perfect thing to have. You can also use class recordings and pull them up, maybe while you're working on an assignment. Maybe a teacher went through the assignment with you guys in class and started things, but you didn't get everything done at the time. Pull that class recording up, go through your assignment, pause your recording as you need to. This is definitely a great resource for students that I wish I had when I was growing up. So I know with all of our lovely tech stuff we've had going on recently, I know that many people have had to clear cache and cookies. So I did want to bring that up today. Whenever you try to get into a class, if you get like a 405 error or some wonky arrow that comes up on your screen and doesn't want to let you in, one of the first things that you want to do is clear the cache and cookies on that browser. If you're in a class and say you keep getting kicked out or things seem to be lagging really bad, clear your cache and cookies. Anything like that, if you're trying to open up an assignment and you're getting an error code, always go and try to clear your cache and cookies first. The other thing that I definitely recommend after you clear the cache and cookies is close out of everything that you have open and restart the computer. Majority of the time it needs to resync itself and then it works decently when you come back in. But I know with things going on, you guys may have to do this over the next couple days. I know that at least a few, if not majority of students and staff had to do it today. But to do that, no matter which browser you're in, you want to hold down your Control, Shift, and Delete key. When you do that, you'll get your pop-up box for clearing data. And you want to make sure that you have the box checked for cache and for cookies. If you have saved passwords, make sure to uncheck that box, especially if it's something that you want to keep. But for the most part, the only thing that you want to be clearing is the cache and cookies on there. Say you have a download history that's super long, you want to clear that out because you don't need it anymore, that's fine. So either way, make sure cache and cookies are checked and then click the button to delete data, delete browsing history. Again, I highly recommend that you go back and close out everything you're in, restart the computer, log back in. That typically will help fix things. If not, there are times that you may have to call and contact tech support, but then reach out to us and we can do that and help as well if we don't know how to help fix something. So I know that was a lot of information. Again, we do have time right now that we can help you with this. So if you were a student who did not get to finish last week because of our site being down, I do want you to stay in here so I can meet with you and go through what you need to finish. It's not that much, so please stay. If you weren't able to check your time zone or you're unsure if it's correct, I want you to stay as well. We will be working at tables, so be patient while I pop around and help. But if you need help with pinning anything to your taskbar, finding your school email or username and password to sign into Word, we will do that right now. What you'll want to do is click on your tables tab up on the top. I do have tables labeled. You can hover over a table and click the blue join button, or you can grab your name and drag it to a table to work at. So if you need help with getting logged into your student account, go down to table 6, which is student login. I will be over and help you with getting into that if you're attending with your Learning Coach account right now. We can help set it up if you haven't, or get you into it. If you're needing help getting signed into Microsoft Word, go over to that table as well. So just be patient with me. I will get to you guys shortly. If you got all of this done and you don't need anything, you are free to go at this time.